Hey everyone, it's Jay from PokeVenture, and I'm doing a follow-up video to something that I actually posted, I think it was today, and I had actually recorded that, I believe it was like a day or so ago, and it was in regards to the pricing of Prismatic Evolutions, Obsidian Flames, booster boxes, things that I would kind of invest in right now. I wanted to do this follow-up video literally a day later, essentially, showing you how crazy these prices are. I know that our 20 subscribers have obviously affected the market dramatically and raised prices, but I just, all kidding aside, wanted to show how essentially this market moves so quickly. To circle back, Prismatic Evolutions, when we were looking at it, I believe it was around 127, 128, and now you can clearly see here like 133. So the listings in the last video, I think it was like 209 or 205 or something. Now we see it's down to 195. So we're seeing what I was discussing, where the listings are going down, and then guess what? Price goes up, supply and demand. Super crazy, right? So when we look at Obsidian Flames, this is pretty stagnant. I don't believe that the price moved really too much. The number of listings didn't move too much. With Twilight Masquerade, actually the prices come down a little bit. I believe when we were checking, it was around 208, 209, and now we're seeing, what is this, 207? I can't even do math right now. 207. But then we flip over to, guess what, Paldea Evolve, and cha-ching, we're seeing this go to, this is now 223 or 224. I mean, holy smokes. Like, this thing's just moving insanely fast and going up. It's a testament to, once again, the number of listings. It's a testament to, of course, the Magikarp, super popular right now. Ungraded, graded. It's a really great card. But even with that, very interestingly enough, the booster box for the base set Scarlet Violet is actually now 167, and that's a very weird name. And so even that is showing the booster box market is just going crazy. One thing I also wanted to cover too, which is very important to understand, is sometimes singles move up and down, and the booster box price is not actually going to be reflected with that. So if we see a card that's really jacked up, the price is super high. Sometimes the booster box price may not be actually reflecting that. So you have to kind of keep an eye on those things. So if you're starting from scratch, because I know that this channel is just kicking off, I know that a lot of people may not be into investing or collecting or any of this kind of stuff with Pokemon. Maybe you're just a fan. I just want to cover the booster box scenario and the singles cards. There's a lot of topics to cover here, so you got to kind of bear with me. But essentially, the booster boxes, the prices of them as sealed products, it's supply and demand, and it's always giving and lending to, well, what's in the box, right? Am I going to pull a hit card? Am I not? Even if, for example, you do pull the hit card, the best hit card that there is, or any of the top fives, it doesn't guarantee that that card's going to be in a really good condition where you can essentially get it graded and get a PSA 10. Now, in terms of grading, I'll just cover that as well too a little bit. So with grading Pokemon cards, there's a few different companies out there. The best and biggest one to really wrap your head around is PSA. So they are sort of the industry leaders for grading Pokemon cards. They do a lot of sports cards, of course. And they essentially, when they grade a 10, you're guaranteed it's a very high quality and high standard. So if you see a PSA 9, it's close to perfect, but it's essentially not perfect in their eyes. They have a lot of different grading tools, a lot of different things that you can check out of how it actually gets graded. There's actually some tools I'll show. I don't think I have it here. I'll show in my next video or two that you can essentially use to see if it fits with their PSA 10 guidelines. So you would think. A couple things are, for example, When we look at a singles card, so I just have like a Wartortle here. So you can see here, right, on the back, a couple things are they're gonna want to see that these blue borders here, I don't know how well you can see, but the blue borders, the ratio of how my camera's not picking up really well. There we go. Good job, camera. The border ratio of the top and the sides, right, from the back and the front. This is a Wartortle, super crazy. Not going to be selling or giving him away. I actually like Wartortle. The ratio of this needs to be incongruent with each other. So if one's a lot thicker than the other, that can basically ding you down from a 10 to a 9. The other thing that can get you is if there's any whitening on the borders. So if you kind of take like a really close look and you see some white spots, usually they're in the corners or they're at the top or bottom. You typically don't usually see them in the middle, but anything around the edges or especially around the corners, you really want to take a look. If you see any white spots, that's going to be something that's going to take it down. The centering of the actual Pokemon itself is going to be another thing. So if Wartortle's way over to the side, that's going to be something that we want to take a look at. So, for example, if you see any of those things before you get it graded, you can ask some professionals. You can take it into a card shop, see what they say. But keep in mind, even if they issue their opinion and they're very good at what they do, it's not going to guarantee that's going to be a 10. Well, why are we shooting for 10s as well with PSA? So PSA we know is the main gig for grading. There are other reputable companies. Of course, there's Black Label, and I'll get into that. It's a whole nother video. But with PSA 10, the ungraded value, so for example, let's say this Wartortle is $35 ungraded. To get a PSA 10 in that is going to essentially triple, quadruple the value. Depends on the card, depends on the market, but it's going to raise the value substantially, and that's why people are chasing these cards. So it brings us back to the booster boxes. If the booster box has that lure of, okay, well, I don't know what hit I can get, then that's going to intrigue people more and more and more to buy the boxes and to rip it open, see what's in there. Even if, though, you get the hit card, let's say that this Wartortle is the best top 5 card, it's number 1, it doesn't mean that it's going to be in great condition, even though you just literally got the box, you literally opened it up. So for some people that can be a huge disappointment, especially if it's a really expensive card that's ungraded. But that's kind of the risk of opening up these packs. So that's what's kind of cool in my opinion, though, what makes things more special. And that's why you see a lot with PSA. You can see a lot of 9s, a lot of 8s, 7s, 6. They go all the way down to 1. And some people actually collect 1s. I met somebody today that actually collects just PSA 1s. Now, they do that for the original Shadowless set, and they just do that for fun. So hats off, no problem to that person, but that's just one great example. But you when you're pulling these cards, you may not get the best grading card. So we've invested in these booster boxes, let's say, or we open them up, we get a hit card. Do we send it in for grading or not? It's up to you. If it comes back a 9 or an 8, it's not the end of the world, but it just means you may have to hold it for longer. That's why I'm kind of suggesting booster boxes for investments specifically. The sealed product seems to always do the best. Some cards go up and down like crazy as well too. The market for that is quite insane. Whereas booster boxes, sealed product, it's more of a very simple supply and demand type of situation. With the graded cards with PSA app, like they literally show you how many PSA 10s there are on the market, how many 9s, 8s. And so based off of like those population reports, based off of the type of Pokemon, based off of the grade it gets, that's going to really determine the price. But sometimes things can get really hyped up from Pokemon if they're doing something on social media or anything in the games, anything like that, or a famous YouTuber comes out and really popularizes something, certain Pokemon, then that can happen too. But right now the evolutions, of course, are really just kind of taking over. Like they're the new Charizard, like Umbreon, the Moonbreon, the Sunbreon from these different sets. They essentially are the Umbreon looking at the moon or looking at the sun, and they're just very popular. So Evolutions is really hyped up. That's why we see these prismatic Elite Trainer boxes doing so well. The Elite Trainer boxes, just to go back to that too, for people who don't know, the Elite Trainer boxes actually come with 9 packs. It literally says it right here. So you're only going to get 9 prismatic evolution booster packs, right? And each pack contains 10 cards. So that's basically your chance. Now, when you see that this is like essentially 133, but then you look at this booster box and you get 36 booster packs for just slightly more price. Of course, you know, I'm not comparing sets. Yeah, it's crazy. It just shows you the hype of prismatic evolutions, and the evolutions. So that's kind of the lowdown on booster boxes. Obviously, I'm talking a little bit about Elite Trainer boxes with prismatic evolutions because they don't have a booster box. It's a specialty set. They're not coming out with a booster box for it. So we're locked into the Elite Trainer boxes. They have, I believe, booster bundles and some other things that they're coming out, other smaller packed products that they're coming out with. But this just kind of shows you the hype. A little bit about the singles cards in market. Comment down below if you want me to cover singles and graded cards. I do collect and invest in those as well too. I can kind of run you guys through that. I didn't want to complicate this video too much. I just wanted to kind of explain and show that these sealed booster boxes are going up like crazy, and kind of explain why. These people are trying to chase these singles. They're trying to find the top hit cards, hope that they're in a really great condition, and then send them into PSA for grading. So it'll be $15 a card. It'll take 3 to 4 months because PSA is like completely overwhelmed unless you pay like a huge premium. And just lastly, if you're going to get something graded, make sure that it's at least ungraded worth something decent. So like $50 to $100. So that way you're not essentially sending in like a $10 card when it's costing you $15 to grade it. And if it comes back a 9 and the value is not going to triple like we usually see with the PSA 10, financially at least you're not going to be that behind on it. So it's kind of just less risk there, being more risk adverse. If you're just collecting and you don't care and whatever, obviously, like I'm not talking about that kind of stuff in this video. I'm talking about strict kind of investment here. That's the best way to protect your investment. The cool thing with this is that you can rip it with your kids and you can have a lot of fun. Expect that you're going to get some hits. Expect that you can get them graded. And some booster boxes, once again, they go up like crazy. You can pull hits from them on the first booster box, and then sometimes it's going to take you 5, 10 booster boxes of packs, which is a lot of packs, to get the main hit card. You can pull that then hit card and it's going to grade like crap. So keep all those things in mind. The simplest form of things is sealed booster box products. You get 1 or 2, try it out, let it sit, enjoy it, watch it go up. And of course, we're in a bull market right now. This is really hot, even though the economy is not great. Shows the strength of this brand. But we are going to see, as I mentioned before, the prismatic evolutions get a reprint. We don't have any set dates for that. We're going to expect that this price is going to continue to climb up, maybe to the 150, 160. It depends how crazy things get. And then it's gonna get hit by the reprint in the next couple months, whenever that happens. But those are some pointers in terms of investing in booster boxes. I hope that helps. Comment down below anything that you guys want me to make a video on. Really excited about this, really having fun. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for participating in the Tyranitar giveaway that I have going on. If you haven't already commented Tyranitar goes RAR, keep in mind that's what you have to do and sub in order to qualify for entering the competition or the giveaway. We're giving away cards that were pulled every week to one person, and making giveaway videos for that, announcement winners every week until we pull the Tyranitar. And so in the first week, for example, we pulled the Urshifu, which I actually have sitting here. So Urshifu, and that's going to Daniel Garcia. Congrats, my friend. And as well as a few others that were pulled in the packs. And that Urshifu ungraded is $67. So if Daniel if you do send this in, make sure that you get it checked and that you have a really great opinion from a few different people before you send it in to think if it's going to be a 10 or not. But that's going to be up to him. But that's really cool. That's basically, in terms of value here, probably about $80 for free that was won by him in week 1. So I'm really excited. There's one more day, and then we're going to announce the winner for week 2. So once again, you have to subscribe and you have to comment Taran Char goes rar on one of the YouTube shorts, and that will qualify you and enter you. Thank you so much for hanging in here for my third long form video. We'll see you guys in the next video.